So, hey guys, it's Bats here, and today we are back with another video. Now, today we are going to be talking about my DXM addiction, and this was a long period of time during quarantine, probably about like 6 months, give or take, a little more, but it kind of blended into the start of my perk addiction as well. But the problem is because I was doing DXM all the time, one, I don't remember a whole lot of it, and two, I wasn't really doing that much, so there really isn't that many individual, like, stories or times that I could talk about, so I decided to just lump everything I can remember into one, video, just in about the general whole span of my DXM addiction, because it's really hard for me to remember specific instances. So yeah, without any further ado, let's just get into that. So basically, around the beginning of quarantine, of course, there's that video about the first time that I tried Delsum, and that was around the time that Black Ops Cold War had came out. And after that, I had really gotten into Delsum, and so I was going and doing it, any chance that I could. I wasn't doing it every day yet, but I was doing it like after the first time that I did it, like the very next day I did it again, and I drank a whole bottle right before I had to do online school. And that was a fucking doozy because I hadn't really done ketamine that much at this time. I had not, like, basically no tolerance or experience with DXM, and so a whole bottle of Delsum, a whole 3-ounce bottle of Delsum back then, that shit had me fucked up. I mean, I was fucking zooted to the moon and back. And I still remember, to this day, I was sitting there and I had just, like, turned on the online class and just muted myself and shit, and just wasn't even, I was laying in my bed. I was not paying attention at all. I was literally listening to music, full blast, didn't give a fuck, just to say that I went. And so, I'm sitting there, and the song Circles by Post Malone came on, and I remember this very vividly, because this is when it really hit me, and I basically started holing. Some people call it the K-hole, the disso hole, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I was there. Alright, I was like, at first it was kind of alarming because I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't think it was going to be so intense. I had this really strange feeling in my body where it was like, it was dissociation, but also like it was stimulating dissociation. And it felt really weird. And I was laying in my bed, and it kind of felt like I was like sinking into my bed. And this grew to be one of my favorite parts about DXM. And the music just sounded fucking amazing. Like, it felt like I was in a music video, and that's, like, I don't know, I think that is one of the best, like, parts about DXM. You feel like you're in, like, a music video or, like, a movie sometimes. It's really fucking weird. It's because you're so detached from everything. But yeah, and so after this point, I had started, doing DXM a lot more, and at this time I was, a lot of the times I would sneak out and at night and hang out with one of my good friends, and we would smoke weed, we would drink, do whatever, and, that was cool. And at this point, I introduced my friend to DXM, and now this is around the time that the 1 gram DXM story happened. So at this point, we were sneaking out a lot. I was doing a lot of over-the-counters, DXM, Benadryl, the combo of the two. And I can't exactly remember the first time that I did, like, the combo. I mean, technically, the first time that I did it was a story even further back about counter-flipping and getting cross-faded. But that was kind of different. I don't know. I would say that my, like, real first time doing it was further on, once I was doing Delsum. And for a long time, Delsum was my go-to for DXM before Robo tabs came out. And we'll get to that. Do not worry. We will get to that. So, yeah, at this point, I am, that 1 gram story has happened, and at that point, officially, DXM had become my favorite drug. And now, at this point, I was going and doing it at, like at least, like, twice a week, I'd say. And I didn't see any problem with it, I did my research, it didn't say it was addictive or anything, and, I thought I was chilling, I thought I knew what I was doing. And, I mean, to be fair, I didn't die, but I was definitely mentally addicted to it, So, Yeah, and it just kind of went on like this for quite a while. And eventually, I had been on DXM so much, like, it had got to the point where it was starting to become like an every other day kind of thing. And I was like so dissociated that, like, I didn't, like, there was points where I didn't even feel human anymore. And especially when I was like in the hole, just like floating around listening to music, like, I felt like I was some kind of fucking, like, entity or something. I just hit my mic. But I don't know. It was crazy. Like, I was completely delusional, but I don't know. Like, it just, like, it really, I, like, I think I've described this before, where I didn't feel like I even belonged in this dimension anymore. I felt like I belonged in the Dexterverse at that point. And then this was around the time that Robo tabs came out, and I was fucking ecstatic. One of the things that I would do a lot when I was on DXM is I would sit there while I was high, and I would go on, like, Discord and Reddit, and I would just read, posts, respond to people, talk to people who were also doing DXM and other drugs and shit, and just have fun. And so eventually, I think it was on Reddit that I found out about Robo tabs, and I fucking lost my shit. I was like, yo, this shit, I need it. And so that was around the time where the first time doing Robo tabs happened. And you can go watch that series if you want more context about that. And then, after that, I don't know if I mentioned getting another bottle in that series. I think I might have. But I did get another bottle at some point, and then that was also around the time that the throwing up a gram of DXM on Christmas story happened. Fun fact, when I was recording that video, I was high as fuck on perks, and you could probably tell. But anyway, let's, get on with that. So anyway, after this point, I didn't really get Robo tabs again for quite a while because I didn't have a credit card, I didn't have a job, I didn't have money. And, I couldn't just keep having my friend buy me Robo tabs for me. Like, that was just, that was just a, like, once in a while thing. Or, really only the couple times. And after that, I switched back to Delsum. Now, this is the point where it really starts to go off the rails for me. Now, this is the point where I started doing DXM basically every day. Now, what I would do is I would get up in the morning, and I would go to my local store, and I would run a fucking Black Ops operation to steal the most amount of Delsum that I could, and usually, depending on the store, it was about 2 bottles to 4 bottles, depending on if they were 3 or 5 ounce. If they were 5 ounce, it was usually only 2. If it was 3 ounce, I could sometimes get 3 to 4, or, and it also depended on what I was wearing. If I was wearing a jacket with a lot of pockets, or multiple things with multiple pockets, it all depends. And so eventually I had developed this little strategy where I would go to multiple stores, and I would, get as much as I could from each store. It was like a little triangle around where I lived, basically. And I would just run, and I would hit all the stores and get as much, DXM as I could. And then I would go home, and I would chug a bottle, and then just be high as fuck for the rest of the day. And then, the next day, I would still be awake, of course. And so when I felt like I was starting to come down, or it had been about 12 hours, because I knew that was about as long as it lasted, and then I would drink another one. And at this point, I was just sitting in my room in the dark constantly. And, I wasn't talking to people. I wasn't doing anything, really. I was literally just chilling in my room on DXM 24/7. And so I was always just listening to music or watching YouTube videos, watching a lot of Goblin, the Vice, like, drug documentaries, Hamilton Morris, all great drug content if you want to watch that shit, especially the Vice stuff. It is actually pretty good. It's educational. If you guys want to learn about drugs, that is a good place to go. The War on Drugs series, Hamilton Morris's, like, exploring different substances, it's great. And I encourage, people who are interested in substances and want to actually learn more about it, to watch those videos. But anyway, so yeah, and it kind of just went on like that for quite a while, where I would just go steal a bunch of DXM whenever I was out, and then just keep doing it every day and just time it so that I never came down. And, like, there was a few times where I did decide to hang out with other people, and when I did, I felt so fucking out of place. Like, I literally felt like a robot. Like, I would be walking past people and I didn't feel like a person. Like, I felt like something else. And yeah, it was so fucking weird. Anytime I went outside, it just felt like another world. And another weird thing that I noticed is a lot of the times, like, cars look, even like dirty ass cars would look super shiny for some reason. I don't know why that is. And in general, like, out when you went outside, it felt like you were on like the Truman Show or something, because it just felt like it felt like a movie set. It felt like the neighborhoods were just super fake, artificial, copy paste things, which they are, but you don't really notice that when you're like sober that much. But it really felt, it was like fucking Nuketown or something, with all like the mannequins and shit. I felt like one of the mannequins. I was the mannequin on Nuketown. But yeah, and this kind of just went on until eventually I had a few relationships that happened where I kind of slowed down on DXM a little bit. And then I got into my longest relationship, which was a year and a half, that has gone on for the last year and a half. And that was when I really slowed down on DXM. That it became more of like a once a week thing. But that was also when I started doing perks. And now this is where the other use I had for DXM kind of comes in. So I got addicted to perks, and that was the only drug I was really interested in doing. But the problem is, when you do opioids all the time, eventually you get this thing called opioid withdrawal. And opioid withdrawal, not fun. Let me tell you, that shit fucking sucks. It feels like your insides are being twisted and churned inside out. You shit yourself constantly. You have to live on a toilet, basically. And especially if you've been doing opiates for a while, like straight in a row, once you stop doing them because they make you not shit, you will just have like the longest fucking like foot-long world record, Guinness World Record, fucking longest turd coming out of your shit. And like there was multiple times where literally I would get up after shitting, there was blood, just a pool of blood in the fucking toilet. This is gross. I need to shut up. But anyway, so the thing is if you guys didn't know, DXM actually acts on some opioid receptors, because originally DXM was designed as a replacement for codeine in cough syrup because they were concerned with the addiction potential of it. And of course, they made DXM and it worked on some of the same receptors. It worked for the purpose of stopping coughs, and they hadn't really tested it for abuse the same way that, we use it. They were testing it for abuse the way that codeine was abused, and when you try to abuse it the way you abuse codeine, it doesn't really work like that. And so they thought it was fine, and they just sent it off, and it's been legal ever since. But what they don't know is it acts on, they do know this, but it acts on opioid receptors, and so that means if you are someone who has opioid withdrawals, you can actually take DXM, and it will alleviate your opioid withdrawals for, as long as the DXM lasts. And so then what I started doing is whenever I couldn't get perks, I would just go and nab some Delsum and just, chug that shit. Wouldn't have withdrawals, and I'd get high as a bonus. So it was a win-win. Whenever I couldn't get perks, I was doing Delsum. Whenever I could get perks, I was doing perks. And that was kind of how it went for quite a while, until eventually I noticed that it started taking more and more DXM for me to actually feel what I wanted to feel from it. And so naturally, I started increasing the doses. Usually, I would stick around 1 gram, and then eventually it progressed to 1.5 grams, which is around the time that the doing 4 bottles of Delsum and going to the hospital story happened. And that actually happened because that was the first time that I was like, I was planning on doing 1.5 grams, and then I ended up accidentally taking another bottle because I fell asleep and forgot I took the 1 bottle. So, shit happens, and when you're on DXM, your memory's really fucking horrible, and you'll forget a lot of shit, and, make stupid decisions, and, it happens. And yeah, after that, I, slowed down. I was at a point where I wasn't doing DXM every day. I was doing it like once a week, but when I was doing it, I was doing really high amounts. And eventually it just progressed to the point where it really did not work for me anymore. Like, I did 2 grams and that worked for a little bit. But then it got to a point where I was really sick of drinking so much cough syrup, and it was also, my body was starting to reject it. I keep hitting my mic, I'm so sorry. But my body had started rejecting it, so when I would do DXM, it would just liquefy my insides, and I just shit myself the whole time. And that wasn't something that happened before. And so what I learned is that you can actually extract the DXM out of Delsum and, make powder. And so that's what I started doing. And for a while, this is the perfect solution. I didn't have to take the syrup, and it was, relatively easy to take. And so, for a while, I was doing that, and I progressively went up from 2 grams to 2.5 grams, and then the final dose of Delsum that I did was 3 grams, and, you'd think that would be like a crazy fucking story, but actually, it wasn't, because I took it, and I waited, and I really only hit, like, low second plat, maybe mid second plat. It was really fucking disappointing, and that was kind of the point where I decided, yeah, it's time to stop. Like, it just doesn't work anymore. But I did have one last hurrah, because I knew that Robo tabs were the strongest form of DXM that you could get, and it had been so long since I had Robo tabs, and I was desperate to, do DXM again. I really did not want to give up DXM, and so I was like, all right, I'm gonna get, a credit card, I got a job now, and I'm gonna order some Robo tabs, right? So I went and I did that, I got my Robo tabs, and I took, I think, like 750 milligrams, which, compared to the doses of Delsum I was doing, that is nothing. So you would think that it wouldn't really do much, but actually, I had a pretty good fucking trip. It was one of the best trips that I had in a while. I had some, pretty vivid visuals. I always find that Freebase makes more, vivid and defined visuals, but that it, it doesn't last as long, and actually, because of my tolerance, it lasted even less than it normally would. Robotabs usually last about, I'd say, 8 hours. But in this case, it lasted about 4, maybe 5, give or take the come down. And so for a little bit, I was doing Robotabs every once in a while. But then I came across another problem, and that was my body also started rejecting Robotabs. And so it was getting to the point where at around 450 milligrams, 500 milligrams, I would just throw up on the come up, and I would lose it, and it was a waste. And so eventually, I just stopped doing DXM altogether, and that's at the point that I'm at now. It has been, maybe like 4 months, 5 months since I've done any DXM at all for, that purpose of getting high. I mean, I think I've took DXM for like an actual cough and stuff, but I really have not taken DXM to get high in a very long time. And that is basically the whole timeline of my DXM addiction. Now, when I quit, it was a very odd thing, because for a while, I just felt out of place in the world. Like, I didn't feel like I knew how to talk to people. I was pretty awkward. Because I'd been sitting in my room by myself, just listening to music in the dark and watching YouTube for like a year, like half a year straight. And so it took a while to readjust to normal life, and I also had more anxiety for a long time, because DXM, when you're on DXM, you don't feel any anxiety, really. I mean, sometimes, but, not to the same extent, and when, after that anxiety, you get this extreme euphoria and relief, and so I didn't know how to cope without that. And so for quite a while, my anxiety was pretty bad. I've gotten kind of a handle on it now, a little better, but it was really bad for a while. And yeah, it's been, it honestly, it hasn't, and the other thing I noticed, also, I almost forgot this, whenever I would sleep, because DXM messes with your REM sleep cycle, which, if you don't know what that is, REM is the stage of sleep in which your brain, basically, that's when you have dreams, and it's also when your brain takes in all the information and the stuff that happened in the previous day, and basically does like a software update on your brain, and, repairs, stuff, and makes sure it keeps working, and all that stuff, which is why you need to sleep to actually live, and if you don't sleep, you die, eventually. your brain will deteriorate and whatnot. And what DXM does is it messes with your REM sleep cycle, where you can sleep, sometimes, but you won't go into REM sleep, so you won't get full sleep. And for 6 months, I was sleeping like every 2 to 3 days, and I wasn't fully sleeping. And then when I did quit and I finally started actually sleeping again, I would wake up in just a pool of sweat. And this is something that's happened every time that I do DXM now. If I stop doing it after the time that I do it, I keep hitting my fucking mic. But if I keep doing it, if I don't keep doing it, then I'll start sweating in my sleep for like a week afterwards. And that was really the only withdrawal-y thing that I had. And even the mental part of it wasn't that bad, because at this point I hated, the smell and taste of Delsum so much, and just the act of taking DXM so much, that it was really easy for me to stop doing it, because I hated taking it. I just liked the high. And yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. This was kind of a different video. It wasn't exactly like a specific story time. This is more of like a addiction timeline, I guess you could say, but I don't know. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, then make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate all the support that you guys give me. I love reading all of your comments. I try to respond to all of the comments, and I think I'm going to make a Discord server. I've had a few people tell me that they want me to make a Discord server, so you know what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to make a Discord server. I think I'm going to have a few of other, drug Storytime YouTubers in this server that I'm friends with, and, I don't know. I really like this community that we have, and I want to grow it and see where this goes. So thank you guys so much for all the support. I'll be reading all the comments, of course. You can check out any of my social media in the comments, in the description, if you want to, hit me up, talk to me, ask me questions about drugs. I'm always happy to talk to people. Or if you have like a trip report to submit now that I'm doing that, I would love to see those. And yeah, without any further ado, have a good day, stay zooted, stay lifted, peace.